persuasive strategy. Where?
Bug him until they get rid of him.
Yeah, I know that works for me. If you guys ever want me to do something, the thing to do is just keep bringing it up when I tell you to shut up.
No, please.
I was kidding.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the answer.
What?
I didn't get the answer.
She just keeps annoying me.
Oh, okay. So no question?
You can believe that if you want.
Why is Iago's "Who steals my purse" trash line so many people attribute to Shakespeare funny?
Because we already know with Iago, he doesn't really care too much about reputation, and
Yeah, so it's similar to the question where I think you're headed. Stop me if I'm wrong, but it's just it's funny to quote Iago, you know, like Shakespeare's big villain, and say that, as Shakespeare says, put money in thy purse, because it's Iago running a con on someone. So it's not like the wisdom of Shakespeare, although maybe it is. What do you think? Okay. I told you I was really loopy when I wrote these reading questions. I'd say drunk, but I'm being recorded. Oops. Yeah.
this is more for, I guess, the question for next week.
That's
but,
fine. Or Wednesday evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says, why does she start talking about whatever, I don't know, Voto or whatever his name is? It starts with an L. When she's getting undressed, but she's not getting undressed, her hair is getting unpinned.
Okay.
So,
But I meant unpinned. She's getting ready for bed.
okay. I didn't know if it was like supposed to be like a sexual thing or.
Well, I still think it works. I mean, letting your hair down.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you know who's a proper man? Ludovico. We have a proper man named Ludovico in the next. I think his name's Ludovico in the next play. That's kind of weird. And what I'm getting at is that Desdemona is unknowingly a problem. We won't talk about that today. All right. Anything else? Yeah.
What impossible satisfaction does Othello want?
Is it proof?
Ocular proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's part of it. Anyone want to add to that? Yeah.
Oh, no, I was going to add to it.
Okay. Anyone? I'll accept ocular proof for purposes of the quiz. And your question, sir? You had a question?
What does Cassio have his mistress/prostitute do with handkerchief?
He wants her to get a copy. He fancies it.
He's a hell of a guy. People need to start treating their prostitutes better.
I just wanted to know, is it even possible to charge, like in real life, Iago with crime? Like all he did was tell people things, and then they went on to kill people. So is that like an actual crime in real life? Like,
I mean, he stabbed a guy.
oh well, I mean,
aside from that,
aside
yeah,
from
I
that,
think that's an interesting question, right?
would he be charged?
Yeah, for what? You know, like prompting. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you could have, you know, I mean, they killed Marie Antoinette for teaching the king dissemblance. You could kill anybody you wanted back then. It was the good old days. That's it? All right. All right. Call it. Maybe like 7 extra seconds.
Enough time to write it.
So what's the, you said the curse of marriage thing? Yeah. Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. Yeah, that's a classic Iago. Tis true, there's magic in the web of it. regarding what we'll call the hanky. I had been happy if the general camp, pioneers and all had tasted her sweet body. Alright. So let's just go cold. Let's see if we can just finish this, we can go home. So, let's I'm fielding hypotheses for what's Iago's conscious desire.
To advise Othello.
Hmm?
To advise Othello.
No.
The controversial to advise Othello. O stands for Othello. It really does.
Nobody liked that.
He says he wants to get revenge or something like that.
So, revenge.
On something that may or may not have happened.
Okay.
Get Cassius' place.
So what's the
Take his place, promotion. Maybe separate things, maybe the same thing. Anything else?
Just leave to Othello's destruction.
Hmm?
Just leave to Othello's destruction. in general.
Okay. I'm gonna say that he's that he hearts Desdemona, because he says that he does.
But he says it's also only out of revenge. Well, I guess that's still conscious.
Yeah. He's a complicated character. Okay. Anything else?
Just seems like one of the guys who just wants to watch the world burn.
I'm gonna say general saltiness. Okay. All right. So what would his what are some ideas for his unconscious desires? Like, what do we think? What do we think he really wants, or whatever? Okay.
Maybe he wants to be Othello?
He does seem to hint at that in those mysterious passages. Okay, we could put revenge as an unconscious one too. It'd be a different sort of thing, but that works too.
Forgiveness of the money that he stole from Rodrigo.
Hmm?
Forgiveness for the money that he stole from Rodrigo.
Forgiveness for stealing from Rod, as we'll call him. Spell check loves Rodrigo, by the way. Anything else? Okay. And then his relationship with knowledge. This one's pretty easy. What's his relationship with knowledge? Is he dependent on somebody else for his knowledge?
He fabricates knowledge.
Yes. So he kind of makes it up. Okay. And then so what's the problem with Iago's whole take on life? Remember, we can revise this. Just throw something out. Yeah.
He's susceptible to the same things that he's trying to get Othello that he's not called.
Self-susceptible. That's good. How do you self-susceptible? Scribble that out. You try spelling on the board. So what's the solution?
Stop lying.
I will say stop lying. I like it.
So sweet.
Death. Death is the solution for everything. Does he die? I forget.
Torture.
Yeah, so maybe that's his, maybe that's the punishment of the villain.
Doesn't he do what he wants though, right?
What's that?
Doesn't he do what he wants, essentially?
Yeah, well, I mean, according to Daniel's law of tragedy, everyone always gets what they want. Is Iago? Because that would be sort of a,
Othello dies.
yeah, yeah.
Desdemona dies.
Desdemona dies.
Rodrigo dies. Everybody dies.
Yeah, so we got a lot of,
Watch the world burn.
Brabantio died, yeah. All right. He seems kind of grumpy at the end. But, you know, some people are, you know, some people are happy when they're grumpy, right? I don't know. They seem like it.
Why did you want us to memorize his last lines? Are they like significant?
Because it's probably going to be on a test at some point. That would be my guess. Anyone remember what they are?
I did not get to memorize them.
And to be not, you know what you know, this time on nevertheless before.
Yeah, don't forget. All right. Yeah, so he shuts up.
No exact verbiage on that, or just the gist?
I think that if I say memorize, I won't be exact. But, you know, as we know, we can be loosey-goosey with the punctuation in the tradition of Shakespeare scholars. Okay. So it should be easy to get to Iago's desires in a way. You know, I mean, at least his conscious ones, because he keeps announcing them, right? So you got these little diabolical asides. What I'm really up to is. So yeah, he makes his first full confession by my count to Rodrigo on page 5 in here, and this is, remember their lovers spat. Page 5, it's 38-ish. So this is this isn't a full confession. This is it's a pseudo confession because he's confessing to Rodrigo.
User.
Is that okay? So he's so the context here is they're, like I said, they're having their lovers spat, and he's convincing Rodrigo that he does not love Othello. That I'm here for you, bro. And so let's take this in chunks. And it starts getting weird at the bottom. Hopefully we can avoid that. Okay. So can I get someone to start reading until I say stop? Do you ever help Wade?
Where?
With a book?
Are we reading $3?
What's that?
$3 for book.
Yeah.
So we're at stop books. Anyway, so what we're
I know I had to go to Bookman's too. I lost mine.
first time in my college career that Bookman's had what I need.
Well, they've got a lot of the student classic editions. I don't know why. Sorry. Starting at the top of page 5 until I say stop. Oh yeah, we're never getting out of that. 38. It starts with O sir,
O
continue.
sir,
Yeah.
continue, I follow him to serve my turn upon him. We cannot all be masters, nor all masters cannot be created father. You shall mark many a Judas and knee crooking knave that, doting on his own obsequious
Good enough.
bondage, wears out his time, much like his master's ass.
Snicker, snicker. Please continue.
For not but provender, and when his old cashier. With me, such honest names.
Thank you.
Others.
All right, so that to me, by my count, is the first part. So what's the gist of this? This we don't have to memorize.
Seems like he's saying you can either grovel at the feet of your supposed masters or pretend to grovel and use it to advance yourself.
Okay, but let's just look at what we read. You're getting ahead. Then I get lost. I've gotta go through this the lines, I get really confused easily. So the first half of that, right, so he's, see, I follow him to serve my turn upon him, what does that mean? Aside from a really bad,
Stab in the back.
so he says, stab in the back, so he's just, he's my enemy, so I keep him close type deal, right? Okay, that seems pretty cool. We cannot all be masters, what does that mean?
Exactly what it says it means.
I'm gonna go with exactly what it says it means. So, I mean, everybody can be in charge, right? So it's sort of a law, I guess. Can everybody be masters?
Anarchy.
Yeah, then
Then they
you've got
wouldn't
no
all be
servants
masters.
though, right? So you can be your own master, but then you're also your own servant. So, I think he's got us on this one. I'm not gonna argue with him. And then, nor all masters cannot be truly followed. Again, it's weird little word. Nor all masters cannot be truly followed. And we could probably make a big stink about that if we want. I don't think we will. Let's note the ambiguity and go in passing. What's the ambiguity that, 'cause I heard some groans out there, so I know that some of you know where this is going. So on the one hand, it means, you know, like, not all masters, you know, can really be followed, right? But it also means all masters cannot be truly followed, like no master can be truly followed, or just some masters can't be truly followed. You could go either way with it. And then, I can't help it. My inner 4-year-old boy thinks it's really funny when he says, "Wears out his time, much like his master's ass." I'm glad to see you guys are better than that. But, yeah, so basically he's just on this part, so he conjures up the image of a sincere servant, I guess, you know, to the master, who actually cares about the master, who works in the master's best interest. And what becomes of this guy?
Just overworked.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's just like the old donkey, just worn out, and then you get rid of him and get a new one. That's your price for faithfulness, right? This the Taco Bell logic. You know that any of you really good Taco Bell employees? Okay, good. Quit me such honest knaves. And honest knaves is, of course, you know, a little bit, it's like it's paradoxical, right? You know what a knave is?
Just like a fool.
Belly button?
It's the opposite of a fool.
Oh.
Can anyone follow me here and say that how's a knave and a fool the opposite?
A fool is someone who is kind of like dumb, but a knave is like a trickster, someone who's like smart and tricks other people.
Right. So that's the old the metaphor that Melville uses is that fools are like oats and knaves are like horses, and you need more fools than knaves, because so knaves are like con men or car salesmen, or I guess that's the tautology. Sorry to all you car salesmen out there. Okay, but he's so honest knaves is kind of, so it's just like saying honest con men. And it's also just kind of a general insult. Okay, so let's do, yeah, so somebody read 46, starting at 46, and others there are.
Others there are who trimmed in forms and vissages of duty, keep yet their hearts attending on themselves, and throwing but shows of service on their lords, do well thrive by them, and when they have lined their coats, do themselves homage. These fellows have some soul, and such a one do I profess myself.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're getting to the second part of Blake's analysis about, you know, the other kind of knave, the other kind of servant. And so what do these guys do? It says it right there.
Pretend.
Yeah. Pretend what? Pretend that their leg's broken.
Pretend to serve them loyally.
Okay, so I'll write out the qualities here. So and then he importantly says, as such a one I do profess myself. So this is what he's professing to Rodrigo, right? He's being honest about his deception. He says that he's a hypocrite. I can't spell hypocrite. And is deceptive.
And his own out for himself.
Yeah, self-serving. Willing and eager to. So this is why I'm not in the NBA right now. You ever just have, when it just all comes together? So he's willing and eager to exploit users. I'm really into hoons lately. Anybody ever been on a hoon kick? Okay.
School spirit right there.
Seriously, if I start talking about cuckold porn again, somebody just hit me. And anyone who does not do all this is an ass, has no soul. Bro. Okay, and so this is good. I mean, he's being really honest with Rodrigo here, right? So, and then keeping in mind what his relationship with Rodrigo is. So, what's his relationship with Rodrigo? Informant. But so if it's a master-servant relationship, who's the master and who's the servant technically? Who's the guy with the money? Yeah. So, so how is telling the truth here? Because we assume he's telling the truth, but how is him telling the truth under these circumstances a form of deception?
Because you just said he deceived his master.
Yeah. So why doesn't Rodrigo go, snap? You deceive your master. I'm going to put 2 and 2 together, and I'm going to be like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't trust you.
Because he believes wholeheartedly that he's talking about Othello.
Yeah. So this is it's a well-known confidence trick, and for some reason, when people seem to confide in us, we feel compelled to confide in them too. Has anyone ever experienced this? And this is why you get those weird conversations on the plane when you both pour your souls out to each other, and then you never see them again. And it's just like, and they've told you things that they've never told anyone, and then you made something up because you felt inadequate. That never happened to your parakeet, and you're just like, that's just me. So of course, as you know, I'm always quick to point out a study, but they produce this behavior in humans using just a simple computer prompt, like prompts that apologize. It says, "I'm sorry, I have trouble opening this type of document sometimes," and then this has been shown to assuage the user, and they've got the little hidden cameras actually prompt the users to confess to the computer one of their inadequacies.
What?
Yeah, we're amazingly smart things, we humans. But you think about it, I yelled at my daughter for being mean to Siri.
We gotta stop her somewhere.
So we've got this irony in the dramatic sense. Anyone know what dramatic irony is?
What happens is the opposite of what is expected to happen? Or
That's irony in general.
okay, you know something that the character doesn't know.
Right. And then, so we get, and it's a weird kind of dramatic irony, but, so he's, as we said, he's telling the person he's professing to serve that he's the type of person that only pretends to be really serving, but is always serving his own ends. And then, I think to make this, super duper clear, we'll kind of return to the lover's spat contextual frame that we were working with on last Wednesday. So here's my translation into lover's spat language. Iago. Look, I'm the kind of guy who thinks that guys that are really faithful to their women are chumps. After all women are just a bunch of whores that will use you up and then get rid of you as soon as you've got nothing left to give them. Only a total moron would really be faithful. Me, I only pretend to be faithful. I'm really only looking for a way to get what I want from a woman and then screw her over. But yeah, baby, I totally love you or whatever. So, we've all seen this sort of thing happen, right? I mean, it's hopefully not that explicitly, although you can probably think of of somebody that probably would have worked that explicitly on, because we're just amazing. But so we have the proverbial friend of a friend that's sobbing on the phone, and you're sitting there trying not to say, dude, she's a stripper and she did the same thing to like 12 of your frat bros. What did you think was going to happen? But you can't say that, right? Because it doesn't help. I mean, has anyone ever seen this sort of thing happen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So why are so many people so stupid in this way so often?
Because when people are honest with you, you feel like you can trust them.
Yeah. So we've got that. So and it's just I'm gonna be honest. I've seen this sort of behavior in real life of a friend, and it's been puzzling because they knew better, and it's always just like, I knew the whole time. This is like, well, why didn't you? It's just, and they don't care. And then not only that, you like talk them through, and they finally get better, and like 6 months later, they're better and getting back with their life. And then like the person drunkenly shows up on their door, and they do the whole thing over again. Okay. So we've got some hypotheses. So we've got the confidence trick. I also put. Gotta be careful with time here. That we all think we're super special for some reason. This is I could show the evidence of this, but everybody kind of thinks that they're better than everyone else in a certain sort of way, from a certain point of view. Like just think about your opinion. It's just your opinion that only you have, even though other people have it. But everybody else is a little bit wrong. Like it doesn't matter if they have a Nobel Prize in astrophysics. Your interpretation of the collapse of the wave function is really what's happening, right? Like how many people in here have done very little mathematical work on quantum physics, but like think that string theory is right? Okay. Sorry, that's just a joke for Katie. So, and I think this ties back to, remember when we were talking about the romance heroine and the cue of irresistibility? That like we really have this fantasy, and I think that dudes have a version of it too, where like we just want to be completely irresistible, and like you can't stop us. This is the thing with the Old Spice commercials. Like YouTube, my God, they're so funny. I mean, they're horrible. But all of the hawks. Take care of my lady. Sorry. So I'm going to put the. These are all hypotheses. And the magic hoo-hoo, that's what the writers of Beyond Heating Bosoms, a Smart Witch's Guide to Reading Romances, called the Cue of Irresistibility. Magic hoo-hoo. And then maybe we're masochistic, like a la Helena. Anyone want to field that one? Can I get a nominee for masochism? A nominator, rather? All right. And then I'm also remember the victim's discourse thing. I want to field that as a hypothesis. Anyone have any? I knew I shouldn't have got out of bed this morning. Anyone got anything else to add? Remember what the question is? Why are we so stupid about the? We confide in confidence. So the, now do we remember what the question is? Why are we so stupid is the question. Why can we be like, Sheridan, I'm going to punch you in the face. Ha ha ha. Whack. I totally could have done it right then too, right? Okay, he was like, you think that? That'd be awesome. I mean, yeah, we could be YouTube legends. Excuse me, whoops. You struck his ass. So the victim's discourse would be, you know, like, oh, I've been so screwed over by you, and you and the world are forever in my debt for it. I think that's a good one. The masochism.
That's back up on that. Doesn't Rodrigo say, like, I want you to be in the know so you can keep things from me, so I can keep this hope alive, all the while knowing it's all fake.
Yeah.
So it's like he wants, he's punishing himself, I guess. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay. So, yeah. And that's different than Helena's masochism, though, right? Because Helena never wanted to get screwed over, right? She didn't want to be deceived, right? In fact, you know, like, when she freaked out, it was because she thought she was being deceived. She didn't think that was fun. But she was really into not being able to get what she wants. So it's a masochism that's sort of, as Blake pointed out, kind of in this direction. Okay. I think that, okay, that's good enough for now. But I'm just at this point, I'm tempted to go more with the magic hoo-hoo. We all think we're super special, because if this was in Henry IV, I would say for sure this is a victim discourse. But it seems like Othello's got a, because if you remember Henry IV and Macbeth to a certain extent, there was just kind of a big guilt contest, and it was just all about guilt and trying to assuage your guilt. And maybe we'll get some of that, but to me this seems like it's doing something a little bit different. I don't know, we'll see. By the end of class we'll get to the bottom of it. All right. This kind of stupidity requires a highly refined blind spot to filter out key information that we don't want to hear. So as we just pointed out, that the Rodrigo's whole relationship with Iago is based on Iago's keeping Rodrigo in the dark. And so I think this is sort of something that we can safely say that Rodrigo does, right? So it's kind of his defining personality trait, this sort of deal. I really like the effect that had on the video. No, it was this one that I really liked. So this is, so all you psychologists out there, what do we call the selective filtering out of unwanted information? An ability to simultaneously focus exclusively on wanted information. Confirmation bias. This is probably going to be like something that'll show up on the test. Like not on the quizzes, but like on the big long things. We use confirmation bias too. So pay attention to confirmation bias so you don't have to watch those ridiculous videos. So there's been at least dozens of experiments confirming this, but it's basically one version of it is you get, say, 50 pro-lifers and 50 pro-choicers. Is it pro-choicers? Pro-choicers? So they're each given 2 articles, one articulately defending each position, right? So to absolutely no one's surprise, who do they agree with?
Their side.
Yeah, whatever side they were at to begin with. But not only do they agree with the side, they do horribly at just recall of the points of the argument of the other side. It wasn't sticking. They're just like no, right? So so we all do this a little bit. Does anyone want to say no? I don't. It's like, yeah, when the creditor call, you guys probably don't have creditors yet. I don't know what's the, well, okay. My examples always suck, so I'm not even going to do it. Conservatives don't flock to Michael Moore movies. Liberals don't watch Fox News. Any other examples?
One reason why we got so involved in Vietnam is because all the generals were being told that we were doing horribly in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And then one person came back and said we're winning, and they just listened to him.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, this is the scary thing when you start looking at heuristics and biases, like we were looking at with the behavioral economics and everything, is that this affects literally everyone. Presidents, CEOs, oil company executives, you know, we all do this. It's really kind of frightening. So, so why do you think? Because, you know, as we're all good evolutionary psychologists in here, and so like, why would this be a thing that, you know, why would Darwin have engineered the threads of creation and given us this kind of stupidity?
Just to maintain social bonds, I think, so that you focus on what's coming back to you that's good.
Yeah.
Ignore the bad.
Now so it kind of keeps your head up, keeps you optimistic, right?
Right.
Yeah, they a lot of psychologists think that it's good for our immune system to be, you know, that our immune system does well when we feel optimistic. Optimistic people live longer. They're wrong more often, but they don't care. Like seriously, if there's one quality that you can give someone, you know, like if there's one thing you want to hope for your kids, optimistic. And then, you know, they say that depressed people are less likely to fall for these heuristics. The findings have been contested, but you suspect that they're probably right. So we hold our opinions and ideas about the world very dear. They're part of our self-concept or whatever. I actually put what or whatever on here. I have trouble with the word self-concept. It seems like power of positive thinking and like everybody needs a hug. Doesn't it seem that way to you? Oh, what about Bob's psychology? Have you guys seen What About Bob?
That's a great movie.
Yeah, everybody should see What About Bob. It's really important. Almost as important as Shakespeare. It's more important than Shakespeare. No, nothing's more important than Shakespeare. It's as important as Shakespeare if you're a psychologist. Baby steps. And then the term "What About Bob" psychology has valence, and then you can start being like, oh yeah. So anyway, having your opinions and your positive self-thoughts challenged creates cognitive dissonance, which is really uncomfortable and requires thinking really hard to resolve, which is difficult and unpleasant, which we all know to be true. Does anyone like having a problem? Like, I mean, solving a problem's awesome, right? Because you get that, but just having it and working it, like learning a new way to do math and stuff, it just sucks. It takes a lot of effort. You're just exhausted afterwards. Reading Shakespeare, and you just go, oh, just kidding.
Big steps.
Learning sucks, it says here. But fortunately, cognitive biases and heuristics can do amazing things. There's this alien cult. You guys have probably heard about this, but it's great. I've probably even talked about it before because I can't go 15 minutes without talking about it. So there's this cult that was led by this lady, and she thought that the world was going to end, but she was communicating with her mind to aliens that were going to come and take the chosen people away at exactly 12 o'clock midnight on, we'll say, March 4th, 1962. She had a specific date and everything, and people, you know, like hook, line, and sinker to this thing, you know, like just a small group. She wasn't out, you know, on the internet trying to drum up money. I mean, she really seemed to believe this, and the people, you know, a lot of them just believed so much that they just knew that they were leaving, so they gave all their possessions away. They quit their job. They dropped out of college, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And then so they're all sitting there and praying together, waiting for the aliens to come. And then so this really, really mean psychologist and some of his colleagues and grad students infiltrated the cult before it happened, and, you know, like kind of signed up and joined. They're like taking notes. So they're there at the doomsday time, right? So you know, it's ticking. It's like 11:59. Everybody's really nervous. 12. Nothing happens. 12:01. Uh-oh. Oh wait, the other clock says that it's 11:57. Oh, so we're going by this clock now, right? Did anyone call and check with the operator, which is how you found the time then? Guess. No. So and then you know the other one hit 12. 12:05. 12:10.
So how does it, what happens?
Yeah, so these kind of hypotheses get thrown around, you know, like, well, where were you when you got the message? Where were the aliens? Was this? So, but around, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, the people that didn't quit their jobs and they're leaving. They're like, all right, well, I'm done with you wackos. I gotta get to work tomorrow. But the people who did sell everything, how do you think they felt in the morning?
Really
Awful.
bad.
Awful, bad.
Undaunted.
Undaunted is the correct answer. So they somehow flipped it through their heads. They were trying out different ideas as they were going on. But the thing they came up with was that their prayers had actually altered the fate of the world. So the aliens didn't need to come get them because they saved the world with their prayers. So what they did is they flipped a script on that ass, and they showed that definitively that the fact that their prophecy failed as definitive proof that their prophecy was correct. And then everybody gets a new burst of energy, and they were kind of keep to themselves before, but now they just go out proselytizing all over the place, gathering up the flocks, and turning into a good, bona fide, legitimate, exploitative cult.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the text.
That's for Shakespeare.
But fortunately, we're still in the first act. And we're going to die there, as always. Can I get another Rodrigo?
Starting from where?
Forcer. It is as sure as you are, Rodrigo. Yeah, Iago, sorry. Alright.
For sir, it is as sure as you are Rodrigo. Were I the Moor, I would not be Iago. In following him, I follow but myself.
Okay, that's good. Anybody want to give this one a shot? My confirmation bias says don't touch it. I'm afraid that getting to the bottom of it might mess up my argument. I figure it's either super deep comment on the nature of the contradictory aspects of identity, which I'm sure would be a hoot to dwell on, but I vote we leave it alone for now. What do you think? This is one of those mysterious quotes that people, like argue vehemently about. And some people say it's indecipherable. I think it's probably not indecipherable, but anybody really into existential questions? Okay, email me later if you are. So now I want. Would you like to continue, Iago?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Just take us home.
Heaven is my judge, not I for love and duty, but seeming so for my peculiar end. For when my outward action doth demonstrate the native act and figure of my heart, in compliment extern, 'tis not long after, but I will wear my heart upon my sleeve for daws to peck at. I am not what I am.
Okay, thank you. We'll ignore the I am not what I am for now, because again, we have this very deep, apparent refutation of Descartes, which would be an interesting thing if he was actually, I guess he could if he's really from 400 years in the future, but so starting at but seeming so is weird, right? Can somebody give me just a vague gist translation of this? I know at this point you guys are like, no, you're just going to say that I'm stupid as soon as I say it. You say, that's what he wants you to think. Oh, come on. Okay, I'll do it. So it frames, what he's saying is that when my thoughts and actions come, when I'm no longer a hypocrite, is basically when pigs fly over frozen hell or whatever the saying is, right? Like, I'll be honest when pigs fly over frozen hell, right? Does everybody see that? Right. For when my outward action doth demonstrate the native act and figure of my heart. So when my actions match my intentions, the natural acts of what my heart really wants to do, and complement extern, that means they match and what you see is what you get. And then not long after that, I will wear my heart on my sleeve, and I think he's being literal here, for daws to peck at. for, you know, the birds to eat. So it's just a, you know, just like, that'll be the day when I'm honest, right? But at the same time, of course, we have to take him literally, and then I think, so this is a clue of what Iago really wants so far as the solution is, right? What I want is to, I want my thoughts and my actions to meet, and then I want to expose it to everyone and let everyone peck away at me until I'm gone. Yes, sir.
Then why didn't he keep talking at the end of the play?
Because he's done.
He's been exposed.
Well, he's not been entirely exposed. They were gonna ask him more questions.
Well, they're already gonna kill him. Like they say they're taking him out to trial to kill him.
But why don't they kill him in the play?
So dogs can check his heart.
Yeah. So they just end up just peck everybody blaming him. He and you know, because you think about it, and he's got no reason to confess. And when you reread it, there's like he just sort of, if he just keeps his frickin' mouth shut, as he of all people should know, they got nothing on him. You know, it's all speculation and hearsay. Even by those standards, even in the good old days when you could kill everyone. Anywho, all right, let's we'll skip Rodrigo. What a full fortune is this thick Calypso, if he can carry this. And yeah, it's not long. Can someone read the entire from Call Up Her Father?
Call up her father, rouse him, make after him, poison his delight, proclaim him in the streets, incense her kinsmen. And though he in fertile climate dwell, plague him with flies, though that his joy be joy, it throws such chances of vexation on, as it may lose some color.
So this is his big motivation. So he's talking about, it's kind of unclear. So we're rousing the father, and then poisoning his delight, and proclaim him in the streets. But who's the him getting proclaimed in the streets? The him?
I thought Othello.
Yeah, I think Othello. We have Othello, no, Desdemona.
Because I think he's talking about besmirching sort of his new promotion,
Yeah.
his new honor,
Yeah.
giving him this all the problem.
I agree. I think that even though the father is technically the subject of the paragraph, I think that he switches subjects there. And if you do this in your paper, I'll be like, who? So I give Iago a C on this paragraph. But, and then this is his big evil plot of revenge. And what's the extent of the revenge? Lose some color of his joy. This is the big, great diabolical plot. So let's go to page 8 to confirm this. So I'll go ahead and read. I haven't gone in a while. Though I do hate him as I do hell pains, yet for necessity of present life, I must show the flag and sign of love, which is indeed but a sign that you shall surely find him. No, that was the wrong part. Good job, Crumbo. This is the day. Fortunately, I took the reins and made myself look stupid instead of someone else. For I do know the state, I'm going up a few lines. However, this may gall him with some check, cannot with safety cast him, for he's embarked with such loud reason into the Cyprus wars. So he's just saying that, you know, like, their plot, he's being straight up, that this plot is not going to work. You know, they're not going to get Othello in trouble. He's got too much juice with the dude. You know, what they're doing is just dumb. It's just going to be a slight annoyance. And then, the thing that I was reading is more assurance that he's lying. You don't need to go into that. Okay. You ever had a long day? Yeah. All right, well, let's at least get out of the first scene. Go to page 25. All right, we've got a down past after more with Desdemona exits, and then we've got another demonstration of Rodrigo's utter dependence. So we've got He's like, I can't live anymore, I'll kill myself. And what's Iago like?
That's for kittens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go drown some kids. So, and then we have this the what I call the greatest send up of the therapeutic session of the therapeutic session. Not counting what about Bob. So we get this Iago comes back with this wonderful Theseus-like homage to reason and free will. And if you ever had a friend of a friend that's in this position, you know that this advice is like trying to stop a truck with a potato chip. I think I had a better analogy, but I ran out of card, and I didn't think it was worth a whole new card. Be reasonable, dude. She's just a chick, man. Like, really? No, dude. I've had her. Ooh. It's fun. I'm always, because I'm a comic theorist, I'm always explaining my jokes to people. I'm like, why that's funny is because the setup and the expectation, when you're explaining jokes isn't. It's not a good thing. Like did I tell you the evolutionary psychology joke? And studies have shown that when women are ovulating, they're more attracted to big shoulders and a strong jaw. And when they're menstruating, they're more attractive to men with scissors in their temples. Can someone read? Now the reason it's funny is because I've got a really good one, but it's bad. It's not suitable for family YouTube audience.
Come on, it's your Do it.
I'll do it the last day of class. A nuclear joke. I also have a nuclear joke. Can somebody read Iago starting with virtue of pig? It's 1:3:3:14 ish.
First word?
Virtue of fig.
This is gonna take seconds.
We got all the time in the world.
Virtue, a fig. 'Tis in ourselves that we are thus or thus. Our bodies are our gardens, to which our wills are gardeners. So that if we will plant nettles or sow lettuce, let a sudden weed die. Supply it with one gender of herbs, or distract it with many. Either death sterile with idleness, or manure with industry. Why, the power and corrigible authority of this lies in our wills. If the balance of our lives had not one scale of reason to voice another of sensuality, the blood of baseness of our natures would conduct us to most preposterous conclusions. But we have reason to cool our raging emotions, our carnal stinks, and our divided lusts, whereof I take this that you call love to be a set of silence.
Thank you. All right. So so this is this is the thing. It's good advice, right? Does anyone not think it's good advice? Calm down, dude. You've got reason. You're not just a baboon. You've got, don't fall prey to your heuristics and biases. Just take a step back. Look at the picture objectively. I mean, this isn't good advice. I think it is. I mean, I wish I could follow it. Do you think Iago believes it? We're getting no's. I mean, he does kind of go about inflaming people's passions and then watching their full reason fail them. That's sort of what he does, right?
I think that he believes it for himself, that he is more logical than everyone else, and that he's the one who is always taking a step back. But I don't think he believes that Rodrigo should actually take that advice. I don't think he wants him to.
Okay. All right. So he thinks it for himself. So he's talking to himself. but he just knows that it's not gonna that Rodrigo's not gonna take it. So why does he give it to him?
He's not a good dude.
Sounds like a good friend. Okay.
Reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology. Okay. So
Trusted.
So he's not lying again. Is he lying? Do we count this as a lie? This is the problem when you analyze Iago. What counts as a lie? If he's telling him something, if he's giving advice that he knows that he's not going to take, is it a lie?
Deception.
Deception. Okay.
He's manipulating him.
All right.
Well, he's telling him what he wants to hear, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's kind of getting that trust that.
Does he want to hear it? How does he? How does Rodrigo respond?
It cannot be.
Okay. So that's interesting. So I'm going to put this forward. I think that here we have an instance of Iago losing the cool of his facade, and I think that he wants to believe it. You got a nip. Your nip. Okay. Oh, good. All right. I've never had a nip before. All right, but hear me out. Because if you think about it, he fails this test too, right? At the end, he don't worry, we're not getting quizzes back today because I haven't entered the grades yet, so we're in no rush. So at the end, his core reason fails him too, and he confesses for no reason, right? And also, as I've pointed out, and I looked at the tape, and many of you nodded when I said this. But often, when people give advice, they're actually giving the advice to themselves. And I think maybe, possibly, maybe, there's a hypothesis. You can hear. I don't believe hypothesis. I'm always right. It's a curse. But that very strong, robust optimism. But I think he's trying to talk himself out of something like love, kind of the way that, remember, Lady Macbeth was trying to talk herself out of feeling, and she kept giving advice to Macbeth, and she was really giving advice to herself because she's really trying to unsex herself because she's so tender-hearted and stuff. What if Iago's doing something like that? And I think that, to me, when I read it the first time, it didn't sound like conniving. You know, like your reading of it made me question that because you made it sinister. But I think that when I was initially struck with it, it seemed like it was actually like he was trying to help, like he was trying to give him some useful advice.
He's never trying to help.
I know, and it would be uncharacteristic. But he's got these moments of sincerity, like he genuinely, I think, is like having fun when he's flirting with Desdemona. You know, like he gets these moments of. But anywho. But so what would happen to Iago's plan if Rodrigo took this advice?
Kaput.
Kaput. Over. So I submit another either unconscious or conscious desire for Iago. I don't know which. It's so hard to tell with Iago. Put it in the middle. But that man, well, I'll say humans. That human reason can subject passion. And then Rodrigo can't agree. So remember, this is the thing that we do when we're looking for someone to confirm us. So you're like, I give you my opinion, and you say, yeah, Obama's the Antichrist, and then my feelings get confirmed too, because we've got two people that think Obama's the Antichrist, and then so we must be right, right? So this is why the people that watch Fox News, and the people who don't, right? So so Rodrigo says it cannot be, and so he doesn't. We have poor Iago reaching out. It's like, give me some faith in humanity, man. You should see what I've seen. You should see people doing all this stupid stuff. Like, give me some faith. Just buck up, be reasonable. Give me a reason to believe. And then we get this complete change of tone. The next one. This is the. We'll finish on this. I want to do a little. I just want to see if this works. We're going to have to talk more about this on Wednesday. But I'm going to read Iago. But when we come to put money in thy purse, I want everyone to say, "Put money in thy purse" with me. This may or may not work. Does everyone get it? Everybody with me? All right. Let me lubricate the organ here. I'm quoting Dickens. It is merely a lust of the blood and a permission of the will. Come on, be a man. Drown thyself? Drown cats and blind puppies. I have... Drown cat. I'm just gonna do it monotone. Drown cats and blind puppies. I have professed me thy friend, and I confess me knit to thy deserving with cables of perdurable toughness. Perdurable's a hell of a word. I could never better stead thee than now. Put money in thy purse. Follow thou the wars, defeat thy favor with an usurped beard. I say, put money in thy purse. It cannot be long that Desdemona should continue her love to the Moor. Put money in thy purse. Nor his to her. It was a violent commencement in her, and thou shalt see an answerable sequestration. Put money in thy purse. These Moors are changeable in thy will. Fill thy purse with money. Okay, so you get my point, right? So this is we've completely abandoned rational will, and we're going to lowest common denominator advertising heuristics, right? So he's got the inflaming desire. You've got hope. You can score with her. There's an opportunity, right? So this is Paris Hilton in a bikini chanting Whataburger, on a commercial, thereby manipulating the brains of the susceptible into unconsciously believing that eating a Whataburger equals sex with Paris Hilton. I had to say sex with Paris Hilton because, it also would mean, if you follow the rumors, that you would also get a wicked case of herpes. But, except this, the Whataburger is, give me money. And so the message is, sex with Desdemona, give me money. And he's just doing lowest common denominator, repetition, repetition. We all know that it works, unfortunately. And Rodrigo's confirmation bias filters out all contradictory static. And of course, he falls for it. And we will continue this on Wednesday. Have a lovely Monday night, Tuesday.